we had programs that we were supposed to deliberate on and come up with the roadmaps for their execution. But when we were struck by this pandemic, COVID-19, the directive came from the president that we are not supposed to have meetings of any kind, so that we can keep distance and so we can we isolate ourselves so that we can avoid getting COVID-19. So at the time the president pronounced actually lockdown came in, that was the 18th of March. We were scheduled to have a meeting on 19th. Now the meeting, it was a meeting by Culture Council for Bamasaaba, and the two key things that we're going to discuss: one, we're going to look at coming up with a committee that would search and eventually elect the third Umukuuka. This time Umukuuka 3 is coming from Indaya Mwambu. So that was supposed to happen on 19th. Then the other item on the agenda was to come up with a committee for Imbaru and draw a roadmap and work to see that the Imbaru is launched in August, as it has been the custom over the years. So those two programs were affected. And we have been waiting 14 days, 21 days, but as you all are aware, the COVID-19 has been a problem. Even now it is. So it affected our programs. So today what we are going to have is a press conference to share with you what we plan or what we want to do immediately after lifting the lockdown. So those two issues, mainly actually three things that you are going to hear is about how do we proceed with Imbaru, how do we come up with, how do we work out the process of getting Umukuuka 3, and also how do we resume cabinet meetings, because we're also affected, and as a cabinet member, we're not having meetings as it was earlier planned. About Imbaru, whether it will be there or not, certainly I must say it is there. I may give you a history that way back in 1919, there was a famine. But the famine came after, I think, another pandemic called, I think, Spanish flu in 1917. So after that disease, then people were not working. People were not working, so the following year, it worsened. So what resulted in was hunger that became so tense in 1919. And because of that, and because our Imbaru requires that people have food, so because we had no food, because people were sick, then Imbaru was postponed to 1920. Now that is how Imbaru transitioned from the odd year to the even year. So from 1920, actually the Imbaru of 1920 was even called, the famine was called Hakutia. So the Imbaru was Imbaru Hakutia. But again, that is the time also, the first time we saw the plane. And then it becomes Nandeke. That was 1920. So today, about 100 years later, we are seeing another pandemic. I don't know, I think after 100 years something happens. So we are hit with a pandemic. This time is COVID-19. So now that has scattered us. We are not supposed to be in one place. We have to keep away from even your immediate relative. So now what is happening today, of course, we are also in the different age. We're in the digital age. The possibility is that, well, this condition may go or may reduce, its incidence may reduce, so that we get back maybe to meet in smaller groups, and then we launch Imbaru, maybe in August or later, and then we move normally as it's supposed to be. But in the worst case scenario, my thinking It's not about Inzu as a personal, my personal thinking is that we are in this age